It's always fun to draw people. Today I'm going to show you how to find the correct proportions, how to draw the shapes and define the edges. Enjoying art is a global artist community. I would like to welcome you to join us today. Now let's start this lesson. So I'm going to put her right in the middle like this. I can draw a center line like this coming down, and I'm going to make sure I have enough space for the hand. It looks like the hand is just right under the face and maybe just a little bit off to the right side of the face. So the face over here, right? So you see how light I'm holding my charcoal pencil. Okay. When you hold it a little bit lighter, you can erase it very easily. So as a member, a little bit afraid of charcoal because thinking about it's difficult to remove it with eraser. Before you go forward, you want to double check. The top of the head is right over here. It's the hand over here. And let's do a little measurement to find the proportion from the top to the bottom. See how you can divide it. Use the head as a unit. From the top over here to the top of the hand, it actually 3 heads. Okay, this is the chin. Is the top of the shirt. From here coming down, it looks like the middle is the eyebrows because her head coming down a little bit. So the eyebrows is right in the middle over here. And another half on the top over here because her head turning down a little bit. That's just the hairline. And that's the nose. And then you're going to divide the space for the mouth. And I think you can go with the 5. Take a look at the whole series. Portrait Basics is really helpful. Lots of tips there. And then the eye over here and the eye on the other side. Now, before we go any further, we need to measure to see the width of the face compared to the height of the face. Take the height, which is we already know, and rotate it, and you're going to find it to the inside of the ear. Now let's take a look. This is the height of the face. This is the width. So let's take a look at a little bit more than half. So in that case, we're going to take a look at proportionally how it looked like. I'm going to move the line outside. It's a little easier to see. I guess that would be about proportionally about this much. Now we're going to take this much and rotate it 90 degrees, and that is the width from the left to the inside of the ear, and the other side it will be here. So that means the ear, it will be the whole ear was sitting over here like that. So proportionally correct. And the top of the ear is lined up a little bit higher than the eyebrows. Again, because her head's turning down. And the bottom over here a little bit higher than the nose, right over here. Here you go. Now I'm going to draw a little bit, the hair coming out a little bit. We're not shading yet. We're not go to that step. Shading consider a smaller details than the larger shape, like that. Okay. Now this is good. I'm going to have a little line, a little straight line, and then a little turn. So we're going to find the shoulder based on where the chin is. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit softer. You see, because I am holding the charcoal very lightly, so I can erase everything that I don't need to keep. Okay, that's good. Now we are looking for the shape. See that? Now the chin over here, like that. Here you go. Now looking for the shape, like that. And there's a little shape over here. Okay, and take a look at the outside is coming down over here, a little bit more like a little bit straight coming down over here, and then a little straight line. There you go. And then the forehead over here, looking for the shape. Anyone looking at this video, if you have a strong interest about portrait, we have class in the fall, and we're going to close the class very soon for registration. So if you are a member, take the member discount, and then please come to learn how to do portrait with me. Now I'm looking for the shape, only looking for shapes, okay? Like that. Let's see. Let's put it simple. Even though over here a little bit softer, a little bit later, but we're gonna just draw the shape. Now we see the face, just light side and the shadow side, and this come out a little bit. Okay, this is pretty good. Now when they're coming down, take a look at the shoulder. If you have the shoulder line coming like this, coming up straight, it actually meet there. Take a look at the angle of the shoulder, and meeting actually a little bit higher than this mouth. It's very much there. So you can have a line coming up over here, coming there. So you can see the shoulder line right over there, right? It's not really that high. We can make it a little bit lower. This is called angular measurement. So on this side of the shoulder, it's starting over here, like that. And then take a look at the angle. The angle about this. Here you go. Now, next, roughly is about this much on the shoulder, but we're not quite sure yet. I think it's come up a little bit more, like this. That was a little bit too low. Okay. Now you can do the same thing. If this in the same angle, extend it to see where this line is going to cross to on the reference. Right? If you can be patient and cut down the whole process into step by step and follow the same process every single time, you can do exactly the same thing that I'm doing. Okay, I think this one is a little bit lower. It's a little bit high, and also the angle, a little bit this angle. I'm gonna come down a little bit like that. All right, take your time. Don't rush it. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to measure the width over here relate to the head, because something we already know, that is the head. We already know that is a fix, and this and that is relate together, right? We already measured. That's the first thing we did. Now we're going to take a look at the width of the shoulder from here to here. I'm going to relate to the head. It's very interesting. It's like this. This is the head. This is the shoulder. Now let's take a look at the relationship. So almost like a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So the head is 2/3 of the whole shoulder. So in that case, 1, 2. If I add another part, half of this coming down right here about. This is good. I'm going to take this that become the width of the shoulder. I want to take a look. I make the shoulder too wide. I thought that's not even wide enough. So in that case, I'm going to soften that. I'm going to have this. This would be here on this side. On the other side, it will be here. So that means this arm coming down like this, even though coming a little bit outer like this. And this side, this arm is right here, like that. and coming this way, proportionally between the height and the width of the arm. On the neck, where's the star? The shadow over here. I want you to look at this whole thing here is a shadow coming down over here. And then coming up over here is the shadow line. And then in the middle over here, and then divide it in the halfway, you can change a little bit. Bigger shape before, think about smaller shape. And then you can add a little shape over here, not go over here. And divide this into half, right? And then another half, and a little negative triangle deducted over here. And between this two, another half. Shade the shadow side to create a form. Continue using the medium charcoal. Okay, what I'm going to do, just going to shade the whole shadow side. And then about from here to there is about 1/3, right? I'm going to draw the 1/3 over here coming down. And then in the finger over here, also shadow. Use your finger if you can. But sometimes like a very small area, you have to use smaller blending stump. Okay, I'm going to blending in a smaller area. And now I'm going to just make this a little bit darker in here. I'm adding more details. I'll say a little bit smaller shape, a little bit more variety. A very round shape over here. Remember, we talk about when you see a sphere shape, and when the light coming from this angle, there is always have this side is the shadow. Feel it is a round shape. All this is very smooth transition. Now I'm gonna have the light over here. Here you go. Lift it up. Now I'm gonna come back here to refine the shape. So you can use this technique, draw the big shape, and then come back to refine whatever is darker shape or lighter shape later. Now I'm going to create a light shape by using erasing. Okay, let's see. That is a little light. You can come back over here to make it a little bit more clear, but you don't want to make this darker. Not every edge is so blur. Some edge is very hard. Some are a little bit softer. For example, on the forehead, a little bit softer. Okay, and I'm gonna make this a little bit like this is soft. So you can use a blender, a small blender, like that. You can have a little bit soft over here. All right, this is soft. You can use the blender. So if you have this same hardness, same softness everywhere, they are competing, and maybe they are diluting the strength. They need to somehow a little bit different, and so that create we call dynamic feeling. And between the line over here, between the eyebrows and above it, is a very hard, right? That edge is very hard. That also you can see that the contrast is very high as well. I'm going to make this whole area over here also a little bit darker, and the forehead is skin color a little bit lighter. In fact, I'm going to make the whole face a little bit dimmer first, and then I'm going to come back over here to lift up some area even lighter, like on the nose over here. Now I can lift it up a little bit. Now we can get in a little bit more details. And on the cheek over here, you can have a little light shape over here, and a little light shape on the side over here, like that. Over here, I can also soften this too. And now I'm going to come back over here, take a look at on the neck over here, a little bit lighter. Now here you go. So drawing is not always adding. It's actually a better technique in between that is taking away. Over here a little bit lighter as well. So now the face has a lot more interesting transition. I just convey the shape, and I'm gonna have a little bit lighter color over here. You see that? Now become more and more real. Now I'm gonna have a few lines over here like this. Looking at that's the shape, this area. Now you see that? Just a little bit. Now I'm gonna have a little small shape. So we're gonna create the illusion of the highlight on the here.